And that's the one. What's the one question you can ask to make me say, am I interested or not?
The one question is your brand positioned correctly for the right audience or for your target audience?
And even taking a step back, they might not even know what brand position is. How many of these clients come in knowing what brand position is of your client?
Are you confusing your audience, or are you speaking their language or something like that? Yeah.
Absolutely, right? Are you speaking a foreign language to them?
Right.
Right? Which isn't always bad, but they might not know what it is.
Right.
So can you help them understand what this is beforehand? So that when we click on this, because now what we're doing is that you're going from, even video ads, Facebook ads, any other Google ads or anything else. But what's the one thing that they're looking for that you can bring them back into this? Mm-hmm. Because then there's always an intention behind here. They're coming for an intention, and how do you solve that right away? To have them understand what the value is and validate that, so they want to consume more.
Right.
Because what even happens, and this is the little behind the scenes secret, right, is when it comes to online marketing group, I give away all this stuff for free as much as possible that I have on my side to see what they consume and what do they produce. And when they fill it out, we review it as a team and everyone else, and we can review it back and forth, and it helps you understand that they really grasp the message from it. And that number one question I always ask afterwards, they finish it out, they get my review, what's your next action item that you're trying to do? They're going to tell me one of two things. Do it myself because I understand how to do it, or I need to hire someone. Mm-hmm. I have now understood and have the expertise of what I need to do, but I can't do it. And it sounds like that's who you're trying to hire.
That's exactly who I'm trying to hire.
So what happens is through this learning and doing these things, now this builds us out just a little bit more in terms of helping people to understand more about who you are and why they should contact you. But unless they understand how bad that nail is that they're sitting on, they're not going to contact you. Right.
So if I'm tracking correctly, these are the lead magnets that I would put as an initial, that's their first time being made aware of me. So I put a Facebook ad towards, downloading one of these free things. Mm-hmm. They download it. Then the question is what is the follow-up? What is the next steps? Mm-hmm. Now, are you saying on this PDF that they download, the last page should be here's what your next step is, or send a follow-up email a couple days later asking that?
I would ask it right away as soon as they fill it out, hey, here's the next 3 things that we can do. You can.
Now I have no idea if they're filling these out because these are downloadable PDFs.
Yeah, and so the downloadable PDF, how can they get it to you? Mm-hmm. Hey, attach this in an email. Here's a quick video of how it attaches when you're finished. Or here's how you do it. Or just take a picture and add this, hashtag on it, and we'll find it. Because that's the thing. Are they consuming this? Because if they're not consuming this, they're not going to call you.
Right.
And then you can even have a little copy. If this is confusing or anything else, here's a couple videos of how to fill it out. And if you're just ready to contact us, go here. If this is you need this, but you're not going to fill it out because you don't know where to go, and you're not ready to watch our videos, are you ready to hire us? Now, the thing that's a catch is we've seen that before. Hey, here's how you fill out a Google Ads campaign, right? And they're I watched a couple videos, but I just don't want to do it. What's happened, we said, great, we'll do it for you. And we got excited, right? Turns out the client wasn't going to still put in the work to help us out. They want to be so hands-off, and they weren't confident that they didn't want to move forward. We thought that was a great client. Mm-hmm. We said, oh my gosh, they want us to do everything. It's because they weren't putting skin in the game.
Right.
So you got to kind of establish that at this point. How much are you willing to work for your business? Are you trying to go in-house, out-house, outsourcing?
Out-house.
Yeah, I know. I was I was kidding. So when you see that, so you're laying out that, is there a way that you can talk about in the lead magnet or something else beforehand about investment? Them understanding how much they're investing already in marketing?
Well, this one, marketing strategy, it's just an easy tie-in because, the SBA suggests that if you're a small business, you're spending 6 to 8% of your gross annual revenue on marketing. Mm-hmm. Right? And so that's just an easy thing. How much revenue are you making? How much is going to marketing? How much should be going to marketing?
Can you break this down for them of how much are you spending on ads? People, right? Wages and so forth?
Yeah, so this is more of developing a marketing strategy. A different thing that I also have, and I didn't realize, is how to develop a marketing budget. Right, and this is more where we mentioned that, and how do you have your gross annual revenue is this, X% towards marketing, and then now we have that. What are the different categories? So we have ads, we have creative, we have, web maintenance, type stuff. who knows what
Yeah.
the breakdown would be, but they fill out their own, like their budget.
And of everything here, which one, if you had to put it from start to finish on here, which one speaks to the whole market? Like the whole market needs to know how to do this. Every business should know how to do this.
Yeah, these are look at the categories. They're all applicable to everybody. Like every brand that exists needs to know how to position themselves. Every business should be doing marketing and have a strategy guiding it. We all have words that we're using that either confuse or speak to our audience. And then we all need to create content, and like how do you come up with content to create? And then, when it comes to like all of it speaks to the market, like which one is going to be more valuable in the eyes of the people I'm trying to attract. I have no idea.
Absolutely. So 2 things to think about, and I want to try getting this in there, is if we had to put only 2 that would speak to the market, the 2 ones that the market would consume. Doesn't mean they're going to work with you. What would be the 2 that the market would consume, that they should consume?
Probably the marketing budget.
Okay. And what else?
And then the marketing strategy.
Marketing strategy, perfect. Okay, so we're going to give these 2 ones right here. Which ones should, if people are interested in your services, which ones are the 2 that are going to be interested? Now keep in mind, you need to save 1 for people that are considering your business.
Wait, is what I need to consider 1 for what?
Considering your business, which I'm
okay, yeah. So the first one is that appeals to everybody.
Yep, everybody.
The
next
second
one is they're interested in kind of what you are and who you are, and they get a feel of what it would be like to work with you, because this is
I think the next one would be the brand positioning.
Brand positioning.
Yeah.
And then as these 2 things, and what other one? Do you want to put another one in interested?
No, I think that one is probably the best.
And then should you use these 2 for considering working with you?
Man, now I feel like I'm committing to it. What's funny is that in my strategy with the client, I have to do all of this. I'm doing this with them in my first.
In this right here?
No. This is like just a consult.
You're talking about actual clients.
So yeah, after this, then I get our deposit, and we're working.
And,
my very first step is discovery, and so this is now our onboarding process. So we go to proposal, then deposit. Or just down payment money, right? They pay us money. Discovery, then we develop a strategy, and then we go to positioning, and then we go to marketing. Okay, so this is our whole onboarding process. So discovery, this is a half-day facilitated workshop. So this is I'm spending a half day with them, and I'm learning what is their budget, what is the copy that we're going to be writing for them, what content are we going to create for them, how are we going to position, and what is the marketing strategy. So all of that is done right here. So these are all little tastes of this discovery thing. So and after this is 2 weeks typically to develop a strategy, and once we develop a strategy and we get approval from the client, then we go to positioning. This is where we do their website. This is where we write their copy. We set up their what's called marketing machine, and we create some content. Okay. Typically, this is anywhere from 2, if that's super rushed, 2 weeks. There's very rarely we'll get that, 2 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, where we'll get that done. And now they're marketable, right? So they're coming to me for this. In order for me to get here, I have to do this. And then now that we're marketing, this is just going to be their monthly retainer. This is where we're continuing to create content based off of. So what content are we creating? We've already strategized it, right? So all of those things are just little tastes of what we would be doing here.
And what would you call this? If you had to give this a name, this package right here, is this your?
That's our. That's what I'm trying to sell. That's our agency retainer. So how to retain our agency?
Give it a sexified name.
A sexified name? Oh shoot, man, I'm terrible at that.
Don't ask me to. I'm like the grandpa of it, right? I'm like, it's agency roadmap.
So the roadmap, I mean, that would be like a sexier name for the strategy.
Yeah.
You know, so I call their strategy their brand Bible, but we could call it whatever, you know.
There you go. And I think what's important too, and I've had this happen before, is that if you're like brand Bible, and if they're not religious at all, they're So when you're laying this out for them, right, I think this right here, I'm just gonna kind of put a little line around it, right? This needs to be one of your considering things. Right here. You need to like package this up and understand it. It doesn't mean you have to lay out checklists of deliverables, but they just need to understand, what am I looking at working with you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I can say all that, but is that a valuable piece of content?
If they're considering working with you.
Oh, gotcha.
They're not going to care about their interest or market, but when they're considering working with you, they want to know what that's going to look like.
Right.
So they want, I'm just going to put the AR right here, right? The agency retainer. And they want to know that stuff, and you can, of course, do a great design if they're considering working with you. On here.
Yeah. Okay. So I got what you're saying. So if I were to put this into a lead magnet, what is the sexified name for that? So, and we wouldn't start with proposal and money. Like that's, we'll get there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So from discovery, strategy, positioning, marketing, this would be like, you know, everybody's doing this, but so it's not going to be this, but marketing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Like that is the roadmap. In this exact order, discovery first, then that develops a strategy, then positioning, then marketing. I could talk briefly on each one of those points.
Because the thing that's happened is that they're considering they're going to reach out to you, or they report to another boss or someone else. My biggest thing that's happening is people are always one question away from actually contacting you. It's your job to come up with what is that one question and answer it for them. If they have this and they can share this PDF or anything else with their boss, hey, this is what they're looking at doing for us. They're going to cover discovery, strategy, and positioning with us. Oh, cool. We've never focused on positioning. We don't even know what that is. Can they consume more content from somewhere else about that? Because when they get to their boss and they're going to say, hey, I'm going to reach out to so-and-so, or we want to consider them, they need to come in and sound like the experts. They need to be Mario with the fireball. He goes from the small guy that started throwing fire and no one can mess with him, right? So that's what you're trying to get them to be right here when they contact you. Because when they contact you, that's a vote of confidence. Right? That's the first step of confidence of reaching out to you. They're not reaching out to you going, backspace, hit enter, and now they're scared and panicked. When they reach out to you, they're either in a state of hurt that they really need you, or they want to gain that next confidence level. Yeah. And again, I'm not worried, like, if I get people to fill this thing out, you know, that fit that ready, willing, and able, they'll for sure. I mean, we're going to be on board to reach our goals, and so it's just getting them to do that initial thing, right? Because most times if they fill this out, I'm getting that appointment. So I think in the terms of validation, right? I think you need to cover these things in these stages right here, in ready, willing, and able. You need to be able to check those things off in those stages. Because if someone was to come to you right now, you can ask 3 to 5 questions to understand if they're ready, willing, and able. Like if you just have to cut to it without doing deep dive, a 30-second consult, 30-minute consult, you can really dive in to find out who they are if you're able to ask the straight questions. Are you ready to start tomorrow? Do you have the money? Do you have X amount of dollars for it? And do you have this? Like if you had to cut to that, now usually that takes 30 minutes on a call, right? But you want to know that beforehand on there. It's just hard because they need to know this before they even reach out to you.